Smiley Kylie Ray here, and you are watching Pinfalls and Pixels, where wrestling meets gaming, hosted by Glocky. Hope you enjoy! Bye!
There was a time when tuning into a WWE pay-per-view felt like stepping into another world. A time when the moment the opening pyro hit and the camera panned across the stage, you knew this was something special. Each show had its own vibe, its own aesthetic, its own identity. From the twisted steel and swinging hooks of Backlash, to the subway grunge of Royal Rumble 2000, WWE used to create themed stages that were as much a part of the show as the matches themselves. These weren't just backdrops, they were statements, physical manifestations of what the event stood for. Even the B-tier shows had unforgettable designs. Fans would speculate online, score fan-captured photos, or tune in early just to get a glimpse of what the set looked like this time. But somewhere along the line, the magic disappeared. Today, WWE pay-per-views all feel the same visually. The LED screens are massive, the lighting is slick, and the technology is top tier. But the soul, the character, the artistry, it's all but gone. In this video, we're going to take you on a journey through time, through the rise, the peak, and the fall of WWE's iconic pay-per-view stage designs. We'll relive the golden age of custom sets, look at the slow transition into generic branding, explore the business and branding reasons behind the change, and talk about the effect it's had on fans and the overall presentation of WWE. This is more than nostalgia. This is a story about identity, creativity, and how something as seemingly simple as a stage design can define an era. Before we dive in, I just want to take a quick moment to tell you how you can support the channel. Head over to pinfallsandpixels.com or to the store section on YouTube and grab one of our fresh t-shirts. We got a lot of designs to choose from. Or maybe you'd like an art print or a sticker featuring one of our exclusive cosplay designs. Want to be part of the show? Producer credits are also available so your name can appear in the credits of future videos. Thank you so much for the support, and now back to the video. To truly appreciate what WWE has lost, we have to go back to the era when custom stages weren't just common, they were expected. This was the late Attitude Era and the Ruthless Aggression Era. A time when WWE's creative team poured just as much thought into how a show looked as they did into its match card. And the result? Some of the most iconic stage designs in wrestling history. Let's start with Backlash. From 1999 to 2003, the Backlash set became known for one thing: the massive metallic swinging hooks that hovered over the entranceway. Every year they'd clang and creak as pyrotechnics exploded beneath them. Those hooks weren't just decorations, they were a brand. Fans associated them instantly with chaos, revenge, and the fallout of WrestleMania. Even today, when you hear Backlash, chances are you probably picture those hooks. Then there was Armageddon. With fire-lit platforms, towering scaffolding, and glowing crucifix-like structures, this event stage screamed biblical destruction. It wasn't subtle. It was theatrical, dramatic, and unapologetically metal. It told you what kind of night this was going to be before a single match ever happened. Unforgiven, Judgment Day, and No Mercy all leaned into heavy, industrial, or apocalyptic vibes. These weren't reused elements, they were custom-built set pieces that aligned with the themes of the show. Each one gave fans something to talk about before the bell ever rang. Judgment Day 2002 featured a massive steel arch with fiery red lighting and an ominous countdown clock. No Mercy 2005 showcased a minimalistic, gritty stage that fit perfectly with the darker storylines of that era. Vengeance would often have a crimson gothic aesthetic, something that made even the promo packages feel heavier. Even the Royal Rumble, traditionally one of the big four, had distinct setups depending on the year. The 2000 Rumble at Madison Square Garden used that iconic New York City subway entrance theme. King of the Ring might have taken things the furthest. Giant thrones, towering banners, and castle gates transformed the arena into a medieval coliseum. And that's what the pay-per-view was about, crowning a modern-day king. The synergy between presentation and purpose made the show feel bigger and more meaningful. Let's not forget Invasion 2001. That one-off event that had a radical black and white aesthetic with two massive tunnels, one for WWF and one for the Alliance, symbolizing the clash between the worlds. Visually, it said everything you needed to know about the stakes. Even the B shows got the royal treatment. Rebellion and Insurrection, the United Kingdom exclusive pay-per-views, had custom Titantrons, different lighting layouts, and event-specific entryways. And SummerSlam had a beach-themed stage with surfboards and a laid-back vibe. Each one gave the show a unique feeling while still fitting within the broader WWE style. And of course, WrestleMania stood in a league of its own. WrestleMania 17 stage is etched into history, a massive metallic archway with a glass shatter design that felt huge. WrestleMania 19 in Seattle featured a minimalist entrance on a long runway ramp, so long that some entrances felt like their own matches. WrestleMania 20's New York City skyline entrance captured the energy of Madison Square Garden. And WrestleMania 21 embraced its Hollywood theme. But the real magic wasn't just in the big four, it was every pay-per-view. Even the lesser ones got their own distinct flavor. No Way Out leaned into a prison break aesthetic, with steel bars lining the stage and dark floodlights. Taboo Tuesday, later known as Cyber Sunday, featured interactive sets with voting booths and tech visuals that played into the fan-controlled gimmick. The takeaway? Every show felt like an event. The moment you saw the stage, you felt the tone of the night. It immersed you before a single entrance theme hit. It wasn't just a background, it was the opening act. This era, from roughly 1999 through 2006, was the golden age of WWE's pay-per-view stage design. It was bold, it was detailed, it was memorable. And most of all, it made every show feel like it mattered. By 2007, the wrestling world was changing, and so was the WWE. The Attitude Era was long gone. The Ruthless Aggression Era was evolving. WWE was growing more corporate, more global, and more focused on branding than ever before. It was also entering the High Definition Era, and with it came major production upgrades. In January 2008, WWE officially launched its HD broadcast format. This brought with it a brand new entrance setup, a massive curved multi-panel LED stage that would serve as the default for Raw, SmackDown, and ECW. It was sleek, it was futuristic, and at first it felt like the future. But with that future came a shift. WWE began using that same HD set, often unchanged, for pay-per-views too. What had once been a space for artistic expression was slowly becoming standardized. Still, this wasn't the total collapse of stage creativity, yet. The late 2000s and early 2010s were an era of experimentation. WWE 2008. It was one of the rare times that the new LED tech was used to enhance a theme rather than replace it. Or take Elimination Chamber 2010. That stage had ominous lighting, steel cage visuals, and darker color grading that matched the violent and closed nature of the chamber match itself. Night of Champions 2009 lead into the Golden theme, with the entrance framed by tall columns that look like championship pedestals. Then you had TLC. While later editions would scale back, the early TLC shows like 2009 and 2010 had props flaking the stage. These were physical set elements that made you feel like chaos could erupt at any time. And then there's Over the Limit 2010, a bit of an odd duck. The stage was mostly standard, but the logo featured a massive speedometer needle and the opening video played into a high-octane race vibe. While the set itself wasn't groundbreaking, the branding made an effort, which was something. Even bragging rights in 2009 and 2010 had distinct color themes. Raw red versus SmackDown blue, emphasizing the brand warfare concept. It wasn't overly physical, but it was creative. There was nothing distinctive anymore, just the same stage with different fonts. Hell in a Cell is another glaring example. While the cell itself was physically imposing, the stage presentation didn't match. What could have been a dystopian prison vibe or a horror-themed design became a stock LED screen with digital fire and the occasional chain link overlay. The experiment was clear. WWE was testing how far they could go without having to build anything. WrestleMania still shined. Royal Rumble retained its sense of scale, but the rest? The charm was fading, the identity was fading. And the consistency that once made WWE pay-per-views feel like distinct chapters in a larger story started to blur into one long LED-lit broadcast. By 2013, the writing was on the wall, and the writing was in LED pixels. WWE had officially entered what fans now refer to as the LED era. Massive high-definition screens, seamless lighting rigs, digital ramp graphics, and animated stage transitions had become the new norm. From a production standpoint, it was cutting edge. From a brand identity standpoint, it was the beginning of the end. Gone were the steel hooks, flaming scaffolds, and stone archways. And in their place, a giant screen with some cool visuals. Sure, the graphics looked good, but they all looked the same. Everything became slick, sterile, and safe. Pay-per-views like Battleground, Payback, Fastlane, and Great Balls of Fire, yes, that was real, all shared virtually identical stage designs. Slight variations in color or logo couldn't hide the fact that every event now felt like a special edition of Raw rather than a truly separate experience. No more physical props. No more immersive themes, just interchangeable branding on top of the same stage structure. This change wasn't accidental. WWE had fully embraced a streamlined corporate visual identity. It was clean, efficient, and easy to produce in any arena, anywhere in the world. What once required days of construction and custom set pieces could now be done with a few mouse clicks and some LED overlays. The shift had its benefits. It allowed for faster setups, reduced production costs, and gave WWE more control over the look of their product. But what it took away was irreplaceable personality. Extreme Rules became anything but extreme. Gone were the gritty, grungy sets. By 2016, Raw and SmackDown shared the same basic set framework. One was red, the other was blue. That was it. Even WrestleMania, while still grand in scale, began to lean more into LED aesthetics rather than full-blown tangible stagecraft. Giant pirate ships and roller coasters made appearances, yes, but they were the exception, not the rule. And because WWE rebranded its pay-per-views so frequently, many events didn't even have time to develop a theme. Shows like Stomping Ground, Day One, or Roadblock came and went before they could ever establish a unique visual identity. When everything is temporary, nothing feels special. There were moments of hope. WrestleMania 34 in New Orleans had a beautiful Mardi Gras-inspired theme. WrestleMania 37 had the pirate theme, and 39 leaned into the Hollywood vibe. But again, those were isolated to the grandest stage of them all. For everything else, the days of set design creativity were gone, and fans noticed. Online forums, YouTube comment sections, and Reddit threads were filled with fans reminiscing about the good old days of pay-per-view sets. Not because they were flashy, but because they meant something. When you saw the castle gates at King of the Ring, you felt the stakes. Today, you see a screen. A nice screen, but just a screen. The LED era stripped the soul out of WWE's visual presentation. Everything became high-tech, but low impact. The stage, once a storytelling device, now was just a digital billboard. And that loss, it was bigger than most realized. At first glance, a stage might not seem like a big deal. It's just a backdrop, right? The real action happens in the ring. The story is told between the ropes. But wrestling has never been just about what happens in the ring. It's about presentation, atmosphere, mood. It's about drawing the viewer in, not just to a match, but into an event. And the stage was the first thing you saw. It set the tone. Think back to being a kid and tuning into a pay-per-view for the first time. That thrill of seeing a brand new set. The way the lights hit the props, the pyro bouncing off metal. The way the camera would slowly pan across the structure while the crowd roared. That wasn't just filler, that was hype. That was immersion. When WWE took that away, they didn't just simplify production, they chipped away at the emotional investment fans brought with them. Every event started to feel the same. Every show became a copy and paste of the last one, with different match graphics and slightly tweaked lighting. Fans stopped getting excited for the reveal of the stage, because there was no reveal. The countdown to the show used to be filled with speculation. I wonder what the set will look like this year. Now, it's more like, it'll probably be the same as last month, but maybe with green lights this time. And for fans who attended live, it was an even bigger blow. Walking into an arena and seeing a massive themed structure made the whole night feel monumental. You were part of something. You were at a show that looked nothing like a weekly Raw or SmackDown. But now, fans walk into the building and see the same screen they've seen every week on TV. It's like going to a concert and realizing the band didn't bring their stage setup. They're just using the house lights and calling it a night. This sameness also affects how matches are remembered. Think about it. When someone says Triple H versus Cactus Jack Royal Rumble 2000, your brain flashes to that subway entrance and that Madison Square Garden setup. When they say Hardys versus Dudleys versus Edge and Christian TLC 2, you see WrestleMania 17's massive metal arch and flashing lights. The stage becomes part of the memory. Now imagine somebody mentions Roman Reigns versus Kevin Owens at Royal Rumble, and all you remember is a red LED screen. The match might have been great, but the visual anchors are gone, and in wrestling, that matters. Because wrestling isn't just storytelling through action, it's storytelling through vibe, through spectacle, through feeling. And when every pay-per-view looks the same, every pay-per-view starts to feel the same. And that weakens the connection fans have with the product, even if they don't consciously realize it. And let's not forget the younger generation. The fans growing up now will never know what it's like to have that holy crap moment when the camera pans across a brand new set. They won't have memories of giant thrones, swinging hooks, or skull-shaped entrances. They'll have LED boards and digital flames. Cool, maybe. Memorable? Not really. The decline of custom stages is a subtle but powerful reason why WWE shows don't feel like they used to. It's not just the PG rating. It's not just the roster changes. It's the presentation. Because wrestling isn't just about the match. It's about the moment. Building a unique stage for every pay-per-view costs money. We're talking trucks full of steel, foam set pieces, themed props, lighting rigs, and an entire team to install it, test it, and tear it back down. That's not cheap, especially when you're doing 12 or more pay-per-views a year, plus TV tapings and international tours. As WWE grew into a global entertainment juggernaut, their priorities shifted. Suddenly, spending tens of thousands of dollars on a one-night-only set design didn't make as much sense to the accountants. Especially when the company could invest in one massive modular LED stage that could be repurposed for everything: Raw, SmackDown, pay-per-views, even live events. No truck full of props, no overtime labor for set changes, just digital graphics and pre-programmed lighting cues. From a business standpoint, it was genius. From a fan experience standpoint, it was devastating. Next is branding. As WWE became more corporate, more family-friendly, and more polished in the post-Attitude Era years, their visual identity had to evolve. Gone were the days of jagged steel and flaming skulls. In came the clean logos, slick animations, and safe, sponsor-friendly environments. Uniformity became the goal. WWE didn't want every pay-per-view to feel wildly different. They wanted everything to feel like WWE. One consistent brand across all platforms, all shows, and all markets. Think of it like McDonald's. You don't go there expecting surprises. You go because you know what you're getting. That's how WWE started to treat its shows. No matter where you watched it, no matter what city it was in, the product would look the same. Safe, consistent, predictable. In marketing, that's called brand integrity. In wrestling, that's called boring. And the final nail in the coffin would be logistics. WWE runs an intense travel and production schedule. Dozens of shows every month. Multiple crews in multiple cities. Add international tours, last-minute venue changes, and tight turnaround times, and suddenly custom sets become a logistical nightmare. Reusing a modular LED stage simplifies everything. It fits in any arena. It's easy to scale up or down depending on the venue. And if something breaks, it's just a panel, not an entire foam throne or 30-foot steel hook that needs welding. And let's not forget WWE Network and Peacock. Once WWE moved into streaming, they didn't need pay-per-views to feel like a big spectacle anymore. They were just another part of a content bundle. And when content becomes a product line, presentation becomes standardized. It's not about making each show look special, it's about making them fit the brand. All of these factors converged into a single philosophy: one set fits all. And for WWE's bottom line, it worked. But for the fans, it came at a price. Because in the pursuit of efficiency, something beautiful, something unique, something fun was lost. Even as WWE embraced the LED era and left custom pay-per-view stages behind, there were still flickers of creativity, pockets of the company that refused to let go of the magic entirely. The biggest and most obvious exception, WrestleMania. To this day, WrestleMania remains the one event where WWE pulls out all the stops. It's the crown jewel of the company's calendar, the Super Bowl of sports entertainment, and they treat it that way. Each WrestleMania still gets a unique, massive, and often breathtaking stage design. From the theme park skyline of WrestleMania 33 in Orlando, or to the pirate ships of WrestleMania in Tampa, to the Hollywood film set tribute of WrestleMania 39 in LA, these stages still bring spectacle, scale, and identity. Even when WrestleMania leans heavily into LED graphics, it usually incorporates physical drops or builds that tie to the city, the theme, or the moment. These aren't just screens, they're sets, designed to be remembered. And because of that, WrestleMania remains the last true spiritual successor to the golden era of pay-per-view design. But it's not alone. NXT, especially during its takeover era, quietly carried the torch for themed presentation. While NXT's weekly shows were filmed at Full Sail University or the Performance Center, the takeovers had a unique vibe. Moody lighting, custom Titantrons, gritty fonts, and stage setups that felt different from the main roster. Each takeover felt like a big fight night. The black and gold aesthetic combined with arena-specific setups helped give the brand its own identity. War Games in particular brought the steel double cages, flashing warning lights, and sirens that made the event feel dangerous and chaotic. And during the pandemic era, when WWE was stuck inside the Thunderdome, NXT TakeOver in Your House brought back old school retro vibes, complete with the throwback entrance house facade and 90s visual. It was fun, it was different, it was memorable. Outside of NXT and Mania, WWE has occasionally flirted with custom elements. But those are rare exceptions, not the rule. The truth is, WrestleMania is the only show that must feel big. It's the only one where WWE can't afford to look normal. It's their calling card, their billboard, their biggest flex of the year. And as fans, we cling to it, not just for the matches or the moments, but because it's one of the last places we still get to feel what WWE once was, what it could be again. Because deep down, fans aren't asking for pyro at every show. They're not asking for $1 million props or massive builds every month. What they want is care, effort, and identity. And if NXT and WrestleMania can still deliver that, even occasionally, then maybe there's still hope. Maybe one day WWE will remember what made those custom stages so special in the first place. WWE's custom pay-per-view stages were more than just cool visuals, they were storytelling tools. In the golden era, you could flip to a pay-per-view and know immediately what you were watching. No commentary, no graphic, just the stage, and you knew. It grounded you, it transported you, it immersed you. And now, it's all become one big blur, one endless cycle of LED boards, recycled graphics, and visual sameness. WWE's product may still be entertaining. The talent is still world class. The matches still deliver, but the feeling is different. What we've lost is that sense of wonder, that anticipation before the show even started. We lost the excitement of discovery, the art of presentation, the fun of themes. And in its place, we got efficiency, practicality, and uniformity. Maybe that's what WWE needs now to function as a billion-dollar content machine. Maybe that's what works for sponsors and stockholders. But for the fans who grew up in the era of themed pay-per-views, every same-looking show is a reminder of what used to be and what could be again. Because it's not about going backward, it's about going back to caring. It's about using creativity to make your product feel special, not just look clean. Imagine a modern Backlash with swinging LED hooks, reimagined for today. Imagine a Judgment Day set with Gothic cathedrals and digital fire, blending the old with the new. Imagine caring about what the set looked like again. The technology is there, the money is there, the fans are waiting, so maybe it's time. Because wrestling, at its best, isn't just about moves and moments, it's about memories. And the stage? That's where those memories begin. What's your favorite classic WWE stage? Was it the Chains of No Way Out? The Golden Throne of King of the Ring? Let me know in the comments. I want to hear which ones live rent-free in your head. If you miss the magic of themed pay-per-views or just want WWE to bring back some of that identity, hit that like button and subscribe to Pinfalls and Pixels. And if WWE's listening, give us a reason to look forward to the opening shot again. Thanks for watching. This is Glocky and I'll catch you on the next one.